Students of class 9A and 9B, teaching of history is completed as per the syllabus of the third terminal. Now I am going to teach the last lesson of civics. Then the syllabus for third terminal will be over and we start revision work. Now the last lesson of civics, chapter number 3, open at page number 36. The name of the lesson is the Election Commission and Elections. The Election Commission and Elections. The need for election. Why do we need elections throughout the country? We need election in order to form a government. Since our country is a democratic country, and in a democratic country, conducting election is a part and parcel of the entire system of the constitution. So as per the requirement of the constitution, one elected government is required throughout the country for a term of 5 years. And as soon as the process of term of 5 years is over or gets over, another election is declared, and then another party or the same party may form the same government, and it is depending on the acceptability of the government, acceptability of the political party, how much responsibilities they shouldered before taking over their oath or after being elected as the important member or ministers in the government. And the entire system of the process, whether it was right, whether it was smooth, whether it helped the people, needy people, and people were satisfied with the system or the policies of the government. So it is depending on their acceptability as a part of the government. That's why we need elections. Now, why do we need election? We need election because in our country is a democratic country, and in each and every democratic country should have elected representatives. The representatives are elected by the people for a term of 5 years, and they form their own government. And this government is run. This government is looked after by these members who are elected by the people directly through elections. That's why election is very important throughout the country. And another one, the Election Commission. In order to conduct free and fair election, we do require one commission, and this commission is known as the Election Commission. Now, what are the duties and responsibilities of Election Commission? The duties and responsibilities of Election Commission is to conduct free and fair election. Before conducting election, the Chief Election Commissioner, means the head of the Election Commission, may conduct a number of meetings, seminars with the other members, with other officials, to make sure free and fair election, and to take help of the police department, so that the police must become conscious at the time when elections are held throughout the country. So this is the election process, and the election process is maintained or controlled by the Chief Election Commissioner. Its dependence from the legislature is early defined, and the legislature cannot intervene in any of the election commissioner's decision. Some features that make the Election Commission independent are: Chief Election Commissioner can be removed from office only by impeachment. So the Chief Election Commissioner also can be removed from his office, but with the proposal taken against his name, the proposal of impeachment. Whenever the proposal of impeachment is brought against his name and he fails to prove it, in that case the Chief Election Commissioner is supposed to be removed from his or her office. And another one, once appointed, his or her term cannot be changed. Once a Chief Election Commissioner is appointed, his or her term cannot be changed. That means he has to work until any allegations of impeachment is brought against his or her name. Until any allegation is brought against his or her name, he has to continue his office, his or her office, for a minimum term fixed by the Election Commission. Only the Chief Election Commissioner can recommend the removal of other election commissioners. So, the election commissioners can be removed from his or her office under the recommendation of the Chief Election Commissioner. No other, but only the Chief Election Commissioner can remove the other commissioners, other election commissioners, but in consultation with other election commissioners. But the decision is taken by the Chief Election Commissioner. And now composition. The Election Commission is headed by the Chief Election Commissioner, assisted by 2 election commissioners, and there are regional election commissioners responsible for the functioning of, the election commission in the states. And the election commissioners are assisted by a deputy election commissioner and a secretary. Nirvachan Sadan in New Delhi is the office of the election commission. Now, the election commission is headed by the Chief Election Commissioner, and Chief Election Commissioner is assisted by 2 election commissioners, and there are regional election commissioners whose main work is to conduct election for different states of India. And the election commissioners are assisted by a deputy election commissioner also, and also a secretary. Nirvachan Commission, Nirvachan Sadan, which is located at New Delhi. This is the main office of the Election Commission. From there, the entire procedure of election is framed and looked after. All these appointments are made by the President of India, and they are treated as Indian Administrative Service appointees. The Election Commissioner is supposed to hold office for a term of 6 years. How many years? For a term of 6 years, so that he or she oversee the holding of one general election and then hand over authority to the next person appointed, irrespective of whether he or she attains his or her retirement age of 62 years during his or her time. In fact, the retirement age for a commissioner is extendable to 65 years to allow him or her to finish his or her term of 6 years. However, a new act of parliament that was passed in January 1991 restricts his or her term of office to his as a 6-year term, whichever is earlier. So, a person, election commissioner has a fixed year of retirement, but it can be extended 5 years more. But it is depending on the system of, but it is extendable. It is allowed. He is allowed, or she is allowed to be an official of the Election Commission up to 65 years. And why? Because as per the pressure of work, as per the system of the Constitution, an election commissioner can work up to 65 years. Although the age is 62, but he can work until 65 years, because there is some restriction imposed on the system of the Constitution. That's why an election commissioner and his knowledge help others to conduct free and fair election, in order to get his experience shared with others. This advantage is given to the Chief Election Commissioner. Suppose one Chief Election Commissioner, being the Chief Election Commissioner, gain many experiences of different elections. In that case, the person can be given 5 years more term, so that he can share his experience with others and can become a part of the Election Commission. That's why the Election Commission, or Nirvachan Sadan of Delhi, protects the interest of the Chief Election Commissioner as well as other election commissioner, by whom the Chief Election Commissioner is assisted, the Chief Election Commissioner is helped And for that reason, sometimes sometimes the duration of time can be is extended by the election commission. The chief election commissioner can enjoy his office until 65 years of age. So up to this, my dear students, next day some points also are left, which the points which are left now I shall keep on explaining, and then I shall complete teaching of this lesson, and your syllabus for the third terminal will be over. Up to this, thank you.